Hello everybody and welcome once again. Here we are with another edition of Inside the Headset, Week 8, Game 8. We're finally on the right weeks. I'm with the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. You've had your break, but prior to that break, you took on the Laverne Wolverines. I had a chance to run in a couple of the coaches, and they basically said a couple of times they felt like they could match up with you a little bit in the backfield decent. They said, you know, we felt like we had speed from time to time, but felt like they really got whipped up front.
Well, we sort of kind of tried to make it that way a little bit. Obviously we're down a couple of running backs and a couple of linemen. So, we tried, that was the game plan going in. We knew, athletically, they stacked up real well against the Speedwise. They're a very athletic team. So, we tried to turn it into a little bit more physical game. And, we got out of the gate real fast and were able to put some pressure on them. And, defensively, we made some key stops. And so things went our way pretty early and often. And, we just kind of got on a roll and they didn't respond. And we were very fortunate.
Got the Warriors back on the right track. Anything you saw that you felt like, running into these last three games that, anything that you saw other than the normal W?
Well, the big thing is we got to win, and that takes the monkey off our back per se and puts us back in the right spirit. But on the same lines, then Blackman did as well, who's our opponent this week. And they're big and physical, and we certainly are not going to be able to do the same things that we were able to do against the other team.
Okay. All in all, was just listening to a segment on Feinbaum about Gary Danielson commenting on the speed of the game, whether it be the West Virginias. And of course, Coach Saban's already voiced his opinion in the college football world. Gary Danielson's not a fan of this high speed, offense, the ability to where they'll line up extremely quick and run the ball. We have a couple of them in our conference that like to do that. How do you feel about that, Coach Aydelott?
Well, I think you got to first of all do what you know, and I think guys, and probably Saban's one of the ones who has used rules, to the max to benefit his program, where they have to make new rules. So I think it's coming, and there's some cases now. There was a call, and I'm trying to think which game it was, where they actually called a play back because the ball was not marked for ready, or at least they were saying it was not marked for ready, and didn't allow on a personnel change offensively for the defense to do the same thing. So I think there's probably some rules, some rule change coming.
You think there'll be some adjustments?
Yeah, I think they're probably going to give the defense, everything seems to be geared from the NFL down to benefit offenses,
Right.
Pass interference rules, et cetera, et cetera. So I think things probably are going to go back to try to even it out a little bit more defensively and help the defensive people out a little bit. Whether we like it or not, people like offensive games. They like high octane, high scoring, lots of athletic plays.
Fans do.
And the other thing that's probably coming about, it very possibly could put an end to football is the concussion rules and trying to take the the vicious hitting, which whether it's vicious or not, it's football, and there's guys that love to hit, and it's been a part of the game, and probably as an old timer, that makes me more sad than anything to see those things go out, because we know it's a physically mean and brutal game, and but that's what draws kids and really fans to watch it, and I think we're taking a lot of that out and turning it into more of a fast-paced flag football type thing. Whether we like it or not, that's the trend. And, I'm not sure there's anything we can do about it.
Well, you just can't dial a kid back and say, okay, you can only hit him at 8, you can hit this one at 10, a power 7, or whatever the case may be. You
an unprotected player. Who's to say when the game is full speed and as fast as it is, to give a guy, an eighth of a second to make the decision whether the guy's defenseless or not. He's taught to make that play at that angle, and he makes that play, and then he's flagged or fined, or worse, or ejected, and that's sort of kind of what it's coming to now. I think safety is important. I think there's other ways to do it, but, bottom line is it's just like taking cutting out of the game, way back, and then it's still at the collegiate and the
but they're still
professional. Well, they do, but, they try to maintain it within the box, quote unquote, but, you do see a lot of times where it's outside the box, and that was a great equalizer for smaller, less athletic teams, I guess, lesser athletic teams. So rule changes are ever coming, and you know, when they feel like somebody's got an advantage or there's a safety factor, then they usually come up and make those adjustments.
What has the Riverdale Warriors been doing? You've been on break, and I know you've already tipped your hand as to what you kind of did to your schedule and everything. But what came out of that schedule that you gave Linto on the radio?
Well, you know, our big thing is, I think probably our biggest thing was we just wanted to work on time and make sure that we kind of understood our opponent. But you know, we couldn't get real physical during the week because of the number of injuries we've had. So, you know, our big thing is we heal some kids up. Obviously, we've got some kids down that we're not going to get back, and we can't worry about that. But it gave us another week to get more repetition, so the kids are going to
get the
fill
ball.
those roles. So, you know, hopefully we got a little bit better doing those things, and we know what we do. You know, I don't think there's a lot of mystery to what we do. Hopefully, we just do it a little bit better.
All right, you got the Blackman Blaze Friday night. What's it take to beat Coach Philip Shad Owens and the Blaze? I mean,
well, you know, their record is not bad, but I feel like they're really better than the record. You know, they dropped a couple of games that they really
little smoke and mirrors right there.
Yeah, they had a couple of shots to win a couple of games that they dropped. So I think really they're sort of kind of in a similar boat that we are. You know, they need a big district win, and this would be a feather in their cap. And you know, and there won't be any loss for effort, I don't think, Friday night. Again, this is one. You know, anytime a Rutherford County school team plays, especially the ones in Murfreesboro City, it's big, and these kids are going to bump into each other repetitively, you know, time after time for the rest of their lives. So they sort of kind of get that feel, and it'll be a high effort game. You know, I think again it boils down to they're awfully good up front. You know, I'm really impressed with them up front, and they got some kids who are game breakers. So, you know, we're going to have to take care of those issues. We're going to have to sustain blocks. We're going to have to tackle a little bit better. We're going to have to contain some of their speed on the edges. But it'll probably boil down to, you know, the team that makes the fewest mistakes and makes the biggest number of big plays.
Well, you know, they're coming over here, right?
That's correct.
So, you know, it will be a big crowd for you all.
Well, we hope so.
I mean, it's one of the better games. It's one of the better matchups, I guess, on paper in town, as far as matchups and everything. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? I know that's a 7 o'clock kickoff.
Go Warriors!
Go Warriors! Just get in here early. Listen to David Limbaugh spin the records, and get ready to watch the Warriors and the Blaze.
Hope two teams put on the show. That's for sure.
Well,
it's all about the kids, so we hope
absolutely.
That they're ready.
And these last three are going to be fun.
Yeah, they are, and you know, and I think really both teams are probably playoff teams, you know, but we've got to finish some business, and you know, obviously a win Friday night puts you either in or a step closer, and you know, that'd be awful big. So, you know, and also, you know, second place in our district is up for toss. So, you know, and there's still another home field game.
And second place can get you another game.
Yeah.
Second place can get you another game. If you draw good, you can almost say, well, we know we're going to try to get two, and then the third one may be the one where we really going to, you know.
You know, I think at this point you look to get in because anybody in this district stands a chance to advance. Whether you have to travel or you host at home, but obviously hosting is a lot better than traveling, and. You know, I think probably all the coaches look forward to playing non-district games at times, you know.
Right. Well, but
you know,
traditionally, 7 AAA or this area, we've all gotten through the first game. Everybody gets through the first game. Then you're either going to meet one or the other, and somebody's got to go.
That's right.
But more than likely,
and that's the way probably.
But more than, but history tells that. Normally we put 4 teams in. That first round, 4 teams usually come on.
If we're one of them, I hope that's right. You know, so you know, but yeah, we like to be well represented, and obviously, you know, that's our first goal. So a win.
It's getting ready to get real fun, though. Kids got to understand this is
it's getting that time of year.
Yeah,
it is, and you know, obviously, you hope that you're going in playing well as well. You know, you don't want to just limp in. So, you know, you'd like to go in. You don't want to back in. You want to go in playing well, and you know, I'm sure Phillips. Group will be ready, and I hope ours are.
All righty. Gather up right over here at the reservation at 7 o'clock Friday night. It'll be the Blaze and the Warriors. Be here early because it'll be packed.